What is going on, Bloomington Normal? How are you guys all doing out there? I am Ty Smith, modern Renaissance man, and you're listening to my show, Cancel This. The phone number here is area code 309-451-9299. Again, that phone number is 309-451-9299. You can text the show at that same number. Be sure to also tune in by going over to YouTube, typing in Modern Renaissance Man, and when you do that, you should see a thumbnail that says Men versus Women. Want to put this all out on the table? You sure you want to go there? You will find that thumbnail on YouTube. When you do that, you will see me live in the studio where you can interact with me and I interact with you. And right now, if you are on YouTube, I just want to say hello to all you guys right there who are watching right now. And just want to let you guys all know that this is going to be a pretty interesting topic here. Okay? Very, very interesting topic. Now, I can already tell based off of some of the emails that I've gotten and some of the little messages I've gotten that people are thinking that this is about to be a deal where I know on the internet streets, y'all see a lot of bashing going back and forth on women, bashing going on men. And I'm telling you guys right now, there's no hate to anybody out there that might do these type of podcasts or panels on their channels. But I'm just putting it out there for everybody that's out there, what we call the YouTube streets. I have not been around because I've been super busy with a whole lot of different projects, a whole lot of different engagement, different mentorship, a lot of things going on, okay? But I will say this. Collectively, the topic of the men bashing with the toxic masculinity and the women bashing, toxic femininity, whatever you want to call it, it's gotten to a point to where, you know, when you see this stuff goes on so much and so long, you kind of get tired of it. And I'm just being real with you guys. And here's the reason why. As a clinician, anytime somebody comes in and they discuss an issue that they have going on, what good is it going to do me if I've been having this patient for numerous of years? No, let's just say numerous of months. Let's just say 6 months. If I have a resident or a patient for 6 months, and when they come to see me, all they keep talking about are the bashing, the bad issues that they are experiencing either themselves or they're experiencing at home. And let's just say from a minister standpoint too, being a minister, if we have to do any type of counseling with anybody, what good does it do if the person that's a part of the church, they keep on fighting and dealing with the same issues that they've been dealing with since they've been knowing you for months, for years? It gets to a point to where you're like, okay, something's not right here. So with this whole thing, folks, welcome to the channel. We're going to go ahead and get into this. So let me just start off by saying this. Ladies and gentlemen, for one, because this is going to be all over the place. I'm telling y'all right now, this is going to be all over the place. What I mean by that is when I say you want to put this on the table, y'all sure you want to go there? That means we're going to be talking about everything. So it might get to a point to where you might not want to have some of your kids in the room and all that, because we're going to get into some things, folks. I'm just letting y'all know. I did a show when I went live a few months ago where somebody said, hey, man, you left the cliffhanger there. You got to talking about, things regarding sexual orientation, et cetera, et cetera. And they said you left a cliffhanger there. And I've been waiting for you to go live so you can get back on this topic. So when I say we're going to go there, you want to go there? We're going to go there. We're going to put it all out there on the table. First and foremost, I shouldn't have to say this, but folks, there is a distinct difference between men and women. Plain and simple, biologically, physically, mentally, emotionally, there's a huge difference. And let me go ahead and throw this out there as well. To you who are not of the faith, Christian-wise, some of these things in here, it might rub you the wrong way, but let me just let you know this. This is not my intention to offend any of you, but should you get offended, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't care. I'm just being real because it's not my, see, this one I'm saying, it makes folks get upset when I say things like this. Listen to me. It's not my intentions to offend you. I'm not doing it to offend anyone, but should you get offended, understand I don't care. Okay, y'all got it? Okay, so let me just go ahead and say this. In order for you to have a surviving species, there is going to be a male and female who are going to come together to have some shape, form, or fashion of intercourse, sexual animals. You can call it mating. Call it what you want to. In order for there to be an ongoing life of species, there's going to have to be that type of thing happening. If there's anything out there that has life, or what we would deem to have life, there's going to be some shape, form, or fashion of intercourse going on. Ty, plants are live. They don't have sex. Oh no, they might not have intercourse, but guess what? Y'all know I got to add my comedic side to it. There are plants out there that do climax. There are plants out there that climax, ladies and gentlemen. Ty, oh my God, yeah, I told y'all, y'all want to go there. I'm gonna go there. It's called that stuff you breathe in that gives you allergies, huh? Ty, what are you talking about? That stuff that you breathe in during the spring season, that is a result of a plant having a climax. Oh, I know this show is gonna get real interesting, and y'all, I'm already starting it off with a bang. No pun intended. Yeah, but no, that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I learned that when going through school. When you learn about the biology stuff behind a lot of plants and animals and different things like that, when you breathe in something that floats around the air that gives people allergies called pollen, that is literally the biological sperm of a male plant that floats in the air. And should that pollen happen to land on the same exact type of species that pollen is going to be able to get in and cause life to happen, life will happen, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. So in other words, you can call it the seed, you can call it the sperm, you can call it whatever you want to call it. It is only going to produce after its own kind unless somebody gets in there and do something genetically to it to modify it to do certain things. For example, you cannot have a human being have children, or whatever you want to call it, a litter, or whatever you want to call it. You can't have pups and joeys and all that. You can't have humans that can have children with animals. It won't happen. That's why I even argue against the crazy stuff. And they say we share 99% of our DNA with the apes. Y'all do know that. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, but I'm just got to get this out there to send the foundation for y'all. When they say that we share 99% of our DNA with a gorilla or a chimpanzee or whatever you want to call it, why can't we all? Why aren't we mating with them and having little human gorillas or humunkies, whatever you want to call it? Why isn't that able to happen? Because they have tried that. There are some nasty people out there that do practice bestiality. They have tried having humans do things and mixing a male sperm with a chimpanzee female's side of her egg, and nothing happens. You want to know why? Because you were designed to produce after your own kind. That's why chimpanzees, when they mate, they have other chimpanzees. Gorillas, they have other gorillas. But you don't see this in nature where you see these animals trying to actually crossbreed with other animals. Now, remember, I want this to stick out to you guys that I said crossbreed. You don't see male lions trying to go up there and smash another male lion. You don't see male gorilla, a silverback gorilla, trying to get behind another silverback gorilla, do you? You don't see that. You don't see a male chimpanzee trying to get behind another male chimpanzee and have sexual intercourse with him, do you? Do you see any other insects out there, male and female, who try to actually do the same type of intercourse with another animal? No. So we're supposed to be the most intelligent beings that God created on this earth, and yet we seem not to be able to have it together better than these animals do. They produce and do their thing like they're supposed to do, like they were designed to do. They do it like clockwork, and there becomes a great balance within nature, which we get the word natural from. So what I'm saying is this, and I said it before, if nature decided to choose the lifestyle that we get ready to roll over into this next topic, human life would cease to exist. Human life will cease to exist if nature decided to be trans. Human nature would cease if nature decided to be lesbian, if nature decided to be gay, if nature decided to be bi, if nature decided to be any of those things that we humans practice, then all human life would cease to exist, because plants wouldn't be able to produce other fruit. Animals that we eat, they won't be able to produce after each other for us to actually have food. Life would cease to exist, period. Now, you can try to argue that all you want to, but you won't be arguing with me. You're going to be arguing with nature. And nature never lies. I say it all the time. Nature does not lie. Well, why are you bringing this up, Ty? Because again, the topic of this whole thing is men versus women. And there are some people out there, y'all thought it was going to be about me saying men going against the women, didn't y'all? No, no, this is about everybody going against men and women. This is about people who think they are women that are not women going against women and men. People who are men who think that they are not men going against men and women. They're starting to become their own thing. But don't worry. We're going to get into this, folks, when we come back at this commercial break. You listen to Cities 92.9 and do is talk of Blooming to Normal. All right, everybody on YouTube, appreciate you guys all being in here. Don't forget to double check to make sure that you still are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you go over and check out Kev at Speechless, who's in there producing with me right now. Kev just reached the threshold of 1,000, folks. He's at 1,000 subs. I'm telling y'all, that's y'all have no idea. That's a struggle when you starting off and doing this and you hit that 1,000 threshold. Some of y'all remember when I was there. Y'all remember that? That 1,000 is a beast. And then when you get past the 1,000 threshold, things seem to tip up. So thank you guys for everybody out there that's listening right now. For any of you that are subscribed to Kev's YouTube channel, Speeches with Kev Ferris, appreciate y'all. And thank y'all for letting everybody else know as well about his channel. If you didn't let anybody know, you bogus. No, I'm just playing. Let them know to go subscribe to Kev's channel, Speeches with Kev.
Thank you very much, Ty. And thank you all of you. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can still go do so. I'm still working my way up further and further and further. But we got a lot of messages we're covering. And I had a great interview yesterday with Paul Garcia. You know Paul, right, Ty?
Mm-hmm.
Talked about Christianity, Catholicism, men. What is a man? So this kind of topic that you're into here right now, Ty, definitely fit right in. So
perfect.
Gender ideology, all of that crap. So everybody also don't forget, you can text or call in to Ty's show at 309-451-9299. Obviously, you probably don't need to text because you got the comment section. But if you want to call in and talk about anything Ty's talking about, and don't be off topic, because you guys know how heated I can get if you try to get off topic on the call line. I will. I'll hang up on you.
Yes, please don't.
Jim, good to see you. Red, great to see you guys.
Appreciate you being in here, Red, holding it down, moderator. Andrea Viola. Hey, sis. How you doing? Binary B. What's going on, sis? Yep.
Oh, I get it. Binary B. I was always like 010101B. Like, that's interesting. Binary B. That's funny. I guess I'm too stupid. All right, you got 10 seconds.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and welcome back to my show, Cancel This. The phone number here is area code 309-451-9299, and you can text the show at that same number, 309-451-9299. If you'd like to see me live in the studio, go over to YouTube. Type in Modern Renaissance Man, and you will see a title of Men versus Women. Want to put it all out on the table? You sure you want to go there? And before we took the break, you guys all heard me getting ready to go in on this particular situation right here. I just gave you guys a little foundation of nature and how if nature decided to do what we humans stupidly do, that there will cease to be any humans at all. And what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just a men versus women as if saying the men are getting ready to fight against the women. It's talking about men versus women because there's people who think that they are men that are not, that are going against the women. And there are women who are women who think they are men that are going against the men. But what I want to let you guys all know when it all comes down to it, this whole setup is to completely destroy you from fulfilling what you were designed to do and what your role is. That's the reason why, if you were listening to me when I first started this off, I was telling you guys it's interesting that you don't see a silverback trying to bang another silverback. You don't see a bumblebee trying to bang a hornet. Yeah, I know I'm throwing it out there. Y'all told y'all this. I'm just putting it out there. It's a wrap. It's over. You don't see a praying mantis trying to smash a stick. You know what I'm saying? You don't see any of that. Now, I do know some of y'all got some crazy dogs that they would hump anything. I don't know what that is. It's a crazy phenomenon. But guess what? Some of you humans, you do the same thing. I'm coming in at y'all. I'm telling y'all right now, because the thing is, Right now, I'm at a point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done. I'm done with a lot of this. Like, I'm done. I told you before, my intentions is not to hurt. My intentions is not to offend. I'm just putting the truth out there. If you get offended by it, I do not care. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I told you guys those foundation of all these animals knowing what they need to do, because you need to understand that this whole agenda is to completely have it to where it's a fight of men versus women. They want you to fight because guess what now? These crazy, confused, deranged, sociopath, they have the biggest agenda to completely destroy what you actually are as a woman. They're going to try to destroy what you are as a man. That's why they use the toxic, crazy, radical feminist movement to completely try to dismantle everything that makes up a man. And in the process of doing that, they actually knew that it was going to be a setup to destroy women themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, you want me to say it again? The people, listen to me. I'm not just talking about the feminists that are participating in this, the radical feminists. The people that are behind this, that are pushing the radical feminist movement with the intentions of destroying everything that makes up a man. In the process of doing that, these people have deceived these feminists into actually destroying themselves as well. Therefore, men versus women are completely being destroyed by the ones who sit behind a curtain like the Wizard of Oz. That's the complete end game on this, folks. And what's really, really sad about this is that they do it so evil and strategically that a lot of you dimwits, you fall for it. Now, I'm not going to say the person's name, and if they're listening, again, this is not, whatever, I'm done saying that. Listen to this. There was an incident in one of my facilities, okay, where there's a guy that works there. And there were several things that were being thrown around. Nobody knew if it was a guy, if it was a girl. But me, paying attention to anatomy, if you work in medical field, you look, I'm just telling you, I look for things. I noticed that this person's, when they went to go use the bathroom, I walked in the bathroom, that person was in the bathroom and they were standing up and peeing at a urinal. So I said, oh, that is a dude. So this person just happens to assist with one of the patients. And somebody came and told me, hey, Ty, patient X, Y, and Z is up and ready for you to come in there and check them out. I said, oh, yeah, I know. I said, he told me that he put him in a chair. And that person said to me, she, and then the person that I was talking to said, what? I said, yeah, he told me that he put that patient, got them up and put them in the chair. She, I said, oh, yeah. He put her, which is a she, in the chair. That individual turned around and got mad and they did one of those numbers. So later on, somebody came to me, another worker came to me and they said, Ty, such and such was really upset that you called them a he. I said, so? Yeah. Y'all just heard that little silent moment right there? That's exactly how it was with the person that came and told me that. They was expecting me to try to break out some explanation. Oh, they thought I was going to go, oh, I didn't know that. Then they said, well, she prefers to be called a she. I said, I don't care what she prefers to be called. That's a guy. I'm calling him a he. He was just in the bathroom peeing in the urinal. That's a dude. Well, I know, but he changed his name. Okay, well, what's his name? Jasmine. I said, okay, well, then what's his last name? Ty, I said, no, like I said, what is his last name? They said his last name is such and such. I said, okay, well, I'll just call him by his last name. I'll just say, let's just say the last name was we'll use my last name. Let's say the last name was Smith. When I see that person, I'm just going to say Smith. But I'm not going to do that. Now, Ty, what if they tell somebody what? So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I'm talking about. It has gotten so bad that people have bought into this to the extent to where they have gotten so deep into this whole thing of pretending that they're something that they're not, that if you call them something that they actually are, you are the one that's wrong. You are the one that's wrong for calling them something that they are not. If you telling me that you identify as a woman when you are a man. Listen to what you're saying. I identify as a she. That's right. You identify as a she. But Ty Smith sees you as a man. You a boy. You got a ding-a-ling. You were standing up peeing in the urinal. But I prefer to call, so guess what I did? I said, well, guess what, y'all? And I can't say this on the radio. I said, I prefer to be called the N-word. Uh-oh. I told y'all, we put it on the table, right? Since you men who want to pretend to be women and you prefer to be called a she, I told them I want you to call me the N-word. You want to know why? Because I feel inside that I got some of my slave ancestors in me. I feels like it sometimes. Matter of fact, Kevin pointed out today when I was taking him to the station that I had leaves in my hair. He didn't realize that I had leaves in my hairs because I was escaping the plantation. So sometimes when my ancestors rises up in me like the dudes right now, I prefer you to call me the N-word like I act like I am. Calls me the N-word, but guess what happened? When I said I want them to call me the N-word, those folks turned beet red. They got quiet. I said, what? Ty, no. Call me the N-word. I prefer to be called the N-word. Well, we can't do that. Why? I'm telling you, that is what I want to identify as. Right now, you can't tell me I can't identify as an N-word. Matter of fact, I might come to work wearing some raggedy, shaggedy clothes and all that and start talking like I just did minutes ago. Because I'm going to place into the role like I used to. And therefore, if I do this, you calls me the N-word. Please cause me the N. If you cause me anything else, use offends me. But Ty, what? Oh, what? What's the problem? Why can't I be the N-word? I want to go, since they're acting like it's not over anyway and racism still exists, why can't I just continue to be the N-word?
Does that mean I can be black, Ty?
Yes, you can take that, Kevin. You can be black,
yeah,
Kevin.
I'm black.
Kev's black right now.
I'm a black female, so give me all the scholarships.
Yes, yeah, y'all didn't know that Kevin's my N. He a real N. He a real ninja. Kevin, my ninja. That's my ninja right there, y'all. But y'all see what I'm getting at? Now all of a sudden, I get looked at like I'm the one that's crazy because I'm telling them I want them to call me the N-word. What's wrong with that? Don't I fit? If anything, I fit that description better than he does. He got it. I'm just saying, he a dude standing up peeing in the bathroom, and I'm sitting there looking just like I did.
Well, basically, it'd be like me, Ty. It'd be if I were to go into your work and I'd be like, I would like you to call me the N-word.
Yes. What's wrong with that?
Because that is what I identify as.
What's wrong with that?
Even though I am not black.
Right. But what? Who said it got to be black? See what I'm saying? So now we know it's associated with a black person, huh? Y'all get what I'm getting at? So this is what I'm saying. When I told them I wanted them to call me the N-word, and I said that's what I'm going to go around telling everybody, I prefer to be called that. And they said, man, we're not going to do that. Why not? Now you offending me. I'm offended that you don't want to call me what I identify as. Why won't you call me that? Ty, because you're not one. Neither are you. So who is then? I told you I'm not playing these games, folks, but guess what? We're going to get into this a little bit more after this break, folks. You're listening to Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. I know it's crazy, y'all, but I'm telling you, it got pretty interesting.
Did you see? I did a reaction video to it on my YouTube. The video of this like transgender influencer who's going viral. That just goes to restaurants with his dog, and basically like eats meals and just videotapes the whole thing, waiting for.
And they call him sir or something.
Yeah,
and he kept
like,
on.
It's like, I'm sorry, sir, and they're like, and it's just like, excuse me, your server just misgendered me, and then legitimately this guy goes, it's like a knife to my heart.
Oh my God, you can find
like
some of those
a
clips.
Knife to my heart.
Oh my
God. And I'm
God.
just like, oh my God. I said on my channel, I was just like, I've never been stabbed before. I'll be honest. I've never been stabbed. I've never been stabbed in the heart. But I can guarantee you that probably hurts a lot worse than being called something you don't want to be called.
No, it's like, you're not being misgendered. You being gendered correctly.
Cities 92.9, this is Kev. I am the black girl. I am Black Girl Kev. They tell me I have Black Girl Magic, George. Yep. George. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I think we could probably get you on for just like 3-ish minutes in the next segment. And if I put you on hold now, okay, and then we come back in like a minute and a half. Sounds good? All right. Got to put a time limit on it. Try to at least.
We end up talking all the way till we only got like 2 minutes left. Bring them on. The commercials cut them.
Do what you want. It's your show, man. I don't know. Can I say cracker? I can say that, right?
It's a word, right?
Yeah. Let's take it back. Reclaim it. You know, in high school, there was a group of African Americans that would always mess with me a little bit because I like wore my MAGA hat to school and everything like that. And they would always call me. I got called Ritz. Because
Ritz and Saltini and
yeah.
Putting on the Ritz.
Yeah, I always just thought one of the funniest ones I always got white bread. White bread. That's just the color of my skin with a food after that. Like, what if I was black bean?
Right.
Right over there. Like, it's lazy. If you're gonna make fun of somebody's race, at least be creative. White bread.
You know, there is brown bread too. I mean,
what if somebody's like light skin? You call them wheat. Hey there, wheat bread.
Yellow rice. Hey, black corn.
It's like it used to be it was considered a derogatory term. Chinaman used to be considered a derogatory term.
They use it all day long.
Which I think is crazy. Once again, that's where you're from plus man on the end of it. That is lazy.
They use that all day long in St. Louis. They say that they're going to the Chinaman. I'm going to go eat at the Chinaman.
Come on, be better.
Have a restaurant named Black Man. Like in even
I think you should make a restaurant. I think you should make a restaurant called like segregation. I don't know, like just go all in on it. All right, you're about to come back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ty Smith, modern Renaissance man, and you listen to my show, Cancel This. The phone number here is area code 309-451-9299. You can text the show at that same number. Come check me out on YouTube where I can interact with you and see your comments by going over to YouTube. Typing in modern Renaissance man, you will see a thumbnail that says men versus women. Want to put it all out on the table? You sure you want to go there? That's the name of this title. And guess what? We are going there, folks. And y'all heard me going in on this situation that happened in one of the facilities that I'm at. And I let you guys know how there was a person there, that guy. And I pretty much told another worker that this guy put a resident in a chair before I went in to go check them out, do an evaluation, check vitals, et cetera, et cetera. And that person tried to tell me that they are a she. And I completely just ignored it and no, absolutely not. So I was told by this worker later on that that person was pissed off because I called him a him and he's a he. And he said that he was a she. So here's my thing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know where it has gotten to in life where you think that I have to abide by something that you are not, especially when we're talking medicine. Let me tell y'all right now, if you go on to Instagram right now and you look up my profile, it's called Modern Renaissance Man. The O in modern is a 0. I show you guys on a lot of the software we use in the hospitals. It literally has the word gender. When we get ready to put a patient in, it has the word gender. And guess how many choice it is for those of you who want to make the argument about there being sex and gender is two different things. In this software that we use, it literally has the word gender. And when you click on the tab on gender, it brings down a drop-down box that gives you two choices, female or male. And whenever we do bring patients in, we say the patient's name and we say their sex. We say Patient is a 61-year-old female. Patient is a 61-year-old male who was involved in a car accident that now has a hematoma, blah, 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 blah. We never end up in our notes saying patient is a 61-year-old preferred called female. We don't have patient is a 61 preferred called male. You want to know why? Because when you're dealing with medicine and you're dealing with anatomy and physiology, we base those things off of those biological factors, period. Period. So this whole men versus women thing, men, the reason why it's a man versus women thing, because the people who are trying to put us against each other are the ones who are pushing a lot of these people who are completely delusional to go against everything that's supposed to be your natural role as a man, your natural role as a woman. So what I'm telling you all that for is because now there's been a lot of strife that's been going on what we call the internet streets, where there are men literally versus women. Y'all can go on there right now. There's all type of topics, especially amongst a lot of the, I'm just being real, especially among a lot of the black panelists or black YouTube channel content creators. There's this ongoing war about men versus women, how women not in their femininity and men not in their masculinity. Men have toxic masculinity. Women don't want men. Women just want to be with themselves. At least they think they do. They just want the careers and blah, blah, blah. It ends up being a dead end. It's been an ongoing argument. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is that I'm just keeping it real for some of you that might be listening here via YouTube. I'm letting you know. Literally, y'all know it's no hate. Y'all continue to do your thing. But I cannot continue to be a part of a process where it's constantly going on and on and on and on and on and on and on without no one trying to actually compromise or come to a solution. So these things that we're talking about right now, they can be fixed. But the question is, do they really want them to be fixed? See, because there's ratings. You know, their attention is given to ongoing drama. Attention is not given to a solution being solved. Attention is not given to peace. Even though you're saying people want that, but attention is not given when there's peace. There's no entertainment in peace. But yet everybody act like they want that. You want there to be peace among blacks and whites. You want there to be peace among men and women. You want there to be peace among the nations. You want there to be peace between the Democrats and Republicans. You say that you want peace, but if a solution was actually given to you, you would not take it. And the reason why is because peace is boring. Peace demonstrates equilibrium. Peace demonstrates stability. And you don't want that. Is it because you possibly been programmed to always want the negativity? You want the drama? That's why the stuff sells on TV all day long. That's why they put it out there in your face, because they're feeding you what you want. Me and my wife joke all the time. You know why my show, you know why me and my family, you know why we wouldn't make it as a reality show? Because there's peace. There's truth. We wouldn't make it as a reality show, not in my house, because there's no drama. My wife is in her position as God designed her to be. I, as a husband, am in the position that God designed me to be. My wife, as a mother, fulfilled the role of what she's supposed to be as a mother to our children. Me, as a father, fulfilled my role of what I'm supposed to be to my children. There's peace, there's stability, there's equilibrium, no drama. Oh, y'all want to watch Modern Renaissance Man reality show? Nuh-uh. Why? Don't nothing go on his show.
I'd want to see it. I think it'd be hilarious.
And like what y'all will see a lot on there is me getting on my wife's nerves, like in a funny way. Like I literally get on. I purposely get on my wife's nerves. I pick at my wife. I'm the person that my wife can be in there washing dishes, and while she's lovingly singing, I will walk in the kitchen aggressively just so I can hear her suck the whole atmosphere. She scared the crap out of her. I scare my children. I've been scaring my sons since they were babies. Well, one of them is at the house right now. He has his own place, doing well. The other one is in college right now for cybersecurity. Okay, so Ty, what does your life look like? Stability, peace. I go to work. I take care of patients. I take care of the role as being a director, making sure things are supposed to be on par financially, blah, 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 blah. I get in my car, I drive home, I pick up my son. Me and my son, we go and hit the gym. We come from the gym, I take a shower, I upload some YouTube videos. I might possibly get on some panels. I write down some notes of what I'm going to be doing as far as the next speaking engagement, et cetera, et cetera. And then I might do some gaming, playing Elden Ring or Lords of the Fallen or God of War, something like that.
Nerd.
Who would watch that? Who want to watch that? No, we need to see some fighting. We need to see some bickering. We need to see a possible fight break out. Come on, Ty. That's what we need to see. You won't see that. See, the very thing that a lot of people claim and that they strive to do and what they want, I have. And it's beautiful, folks. Right now, a lot of people that we help out, whether it's through the internet or whether it's through like life, I can't even imagine being in a relationship where that much drama, that much toxicity exists within it. So what am I saying all that for? The only way you're going to get to peace, the only way you're going to get to stability, the only way you're going to get to having that strong foundation is through the truth. And the truth is, snow cone colored, social justice warrior crew. If you are a man and you have testicles and you have a penis, you have a vas deferens, you have a prostate, and you have a prostate gland, the truth is you are a man. If you are a woman, you have a vajayjay, you have a cervix, you have fallopian tubes, you have ovaries, you have mammary glands. You are a woman. Now, for me to sit there and demonstrate and tell you the truth and you get pissed off, I don't care. If I show you, like they did in kindergarten, if I gave you one popsicle stick and then I gave you another popsicle stick, I'm going to say you got two. Now, if anybody gets pissed off, and oh no, that's not two, it's three. In my world, it's three. I don't see numbers the same way you do. You are out of your mind. You are not trying to arrive to the truth. You are completely out of your mind. You are delusional. Now, Ty, are you calling everybody that's trans and lesbian? No, I'm not calling them delusional.
I am.
I'm calling, no, this is what I'm saying. I'm not calling them delusional as in life. I'm talking about when it comes to this particular subject, this particular matter, they're delusional. Because these people hold all kinds of positions. There's doctors, there's lawyers, there's CEOs, there's computer programmers, there's all types of people that it's about that life that are really smart people when it comes to certain occupations. But when it comes to this subject, they have been completely deceived. Completely deceived. And some of you bought into it, and y'all want to keep it real. What it comes down to is the Bible clearly tells you why. The Bible gives you a simple answer to why a lot of people practice and want to do the things they do. The Bible says you are tempted when you are drawn away by your own lust. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a caller on the line. We're getting ready to address that call. Caller, you on Season 92.9. This is Ty.
How do I know it's you, Ty? Anyway, hey, listen, I'm getting a computer and I need your help to set up a blog, but that's not why I'm calling. What I'm calling is that all these operations they're doing, Ty, is nothing new. It goes back to the turn of the century in England, 1957. They did Christine Jorgensen was the first man to become a woman. But our government, the Democrats are pushing all of this. They want to destroy our country. They want to destroy our children. If I can't kill your baby in the womb, then I'll do a double mastectomy on an 11-year-old little girl. I'll do a castration total all the way up on your sons. I'll destroy every child out there. They hate kids. They're passing all these laws. Sex education for 5-year-old little girl. That little girl doesn't even know what she wants to wear to school today. The boy doesn't even know what he wants for dinner or lunch. What's wrong with people? They let this government run their kids and run their lives. We are the government. People got to stop this crap, letting them tell him what to do. We did away with God. Separation of church and state. That's not what we come here for. We come here for the separation of the state church. We took the Bible out of our schools and we took the Bible out of our governments. Which one do you like the best? Neither one. You're a Christian. You're not in it for this stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's crazy, Ty. I mean, And it's our fault. It's our fault. They used to riot in Chicago back in the 60s, the blacks did. Then they started going to court. Man, they seceded it so much more. All these girls that don't want to swim with this guy, everybody stay home. Stay home. But they started that. 1977, they ripped their bras off in every major city in the country and burned their bras. Said, burn bra, baby, burn. And they jumped up and down like that hurt our feelings. Yeah.
Wow. And you know what, George? That's a really good point. I want you to keep it there. Don't lose this train of thought because we're coming up on a commercial. Hang around. We're going to bring you right back on after this commercial. Folks,
I will.
You're listening to Cities 92.9 and News and Talk of Bloomington. Be right back. All right, folks, don't forget to hit that that like button if you like what's been going on. The Real Nye, the science guy, you made a comment above. I don't know exactly how that is coming out when you said something about, I don't know if you're saying following my tracks or you making a general statement. You made a statement, Real Nye, let me find it. You said they are delusional following your tracks. I don't know if you were saying they're following, I don't know if you're saying that they're delusional following my tracks or you're just saying that as a general statement, like they're delusional following your tracks. I don't know. So you might want to substantiate that a little bit more for me if you don't mind, and then I can get into it whether I need to address it a certain way or not. Red, I said mammary glands. Memory. You have those, Red.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, women have a way better memory than men. Look, my mom.
I don't remember.
No, you're gonna get canceled for that, buddy. No, but like my mom can remember everything I've ever done wrong. You want to know? Anytime she's mad at me, I hear about things I did when I was like 6, and she'll be like, "Remember that time that you called my boss dumb when you were 6 and I had to bring you to work because your school closed down? Yeah, that you were just such a problem." Mom,
like,
I was 6.
Dang.
Mom, I was 6. How do you even remember that?
And that's the reason why you've always been like that since you were little.
Yeah, you were. Oh my God. Women. Can't live with them, can't live without them. All right, you got 5 seconds.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ty Smith, modern Renaissance man. You're listening to my show, Cancel This. The phone number here is area code 309-451-9299. You can text the show at 309-451-9299. If you'd like to see me live in the studio, go over to YouTube and type in Modern Renaissance Man, where you can see me live in the studio, looking at you, you looking at me, and we're having a good looking time. And also, don't forget that if you are in here through YouTube, double check to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you go and subscribe to all of our counterparts here at Cities 92.9, Speeches with Kev Ferris. Don't forget to do with Kat and also Bloomshine and Cities 92.9 YouTube channel itself. Go and subscribe to all those channels where we're going to keep you guys on your toes with all this fresh news from a great point of view. And although we do have some fresh eyes and different perspectives up here at Cities 92.9, you know, I'm throwing some shade. You know, we kind of tired of hearing from y'all old people. We tired of seeing y'all old people in these positions and everything too. You know, that's why, you know, young folks like myself and Kev trying to come up here and make, you know,
don't try to pretend like you're not old.
You know, trying to, we trying to make some headway. You trying to get some different perspectives in politics as well, folks. Aren't y'all tired of seeing all these old folks in politics? Aren't y'all tired of it? Tired your age discrimination. I didn't say that because what is old? You know, what is a woman? You know, speaking of which, we were talking about before we took the break is all this crazy nonsense that's going on in the world right now. But before I get back to me, I'm going to go ahead and let the caller continue to spiel his guts out on this particular subject. Go ahead, George.
Well, I was saying before, for people that want to know what's going on, Ty, you read the Bible. Have you ever studied and looked at 2 Timothy, verse 3, chapter 6, that area in there? It talks about everything today. Lovers of themselves, lovers of money, don't care about anybody. We walk over people who fall down. We don't help them up. And what do? We praise these people. What is wrong with you people that vote for the Democratic Party? A congressman from Oklahoma said, you can't be a Christian and be a Democrat. You can't be a Democrat and be a Christian. They're destroying everything. They're killing our babies. And if they're not killing them in the womb, they're hurting them on the outside so they can't reproduce or whatever they want. They're pushing all this homosexuality stuff. Oh, you're a homophobic. Hey, get in line, buddy. I got 15 phobics I'm a phobic of. You're just one of them. I don't give a damn about these people. Pardon me, Kevin. I don't care about these people. I'm old. I know more than all these people put together. I tell these young people, 22 years old, I got 10 minutes. Tell me all your experiences you ever had in your life. You need to look around. They're destroying our country. They're killing our babies. And the unions, all of it. But it's all one thing. It all comes from the White House. No, it comes from us. Because people don't know. We took our Bible out of the schools. And we took them out of our courthouses. It's the biggest farce in the world. Put your hand on this Bible. That judge don't care any more about God than the devil. But he's making you swear on a Bible. That's a crock. And women, all they got to do is stay home. That's all. Quit whining. Stay home. That's all they got to do. That guy's 6'4", whatever he is. He can be if he only touches the edge of that pool before that other woman's there. But you know what? They asked for it. Smokers in New York City, smoking club, cigars. They had to butt in. They had to go to court to get them in there. Citadel, 1847, it started. Well, I had 2 women that went there, but for classes, but nobody lived on campus, was in the military. They got their way into Citadel. Lane Tech High School. You know where that's at in Chicago?
Yeah.
My wife was a second class, 1973, to go to that school at Lane Tech. They did away with home economics. I don't know why they did that. Teaching the guys, now they don't want to teach the girls. But why are they there? It's a trade school. Welding, automotive. I mean, you got a complete shop, everything over there. Casting. My wife forged metal, everything. Why are they there? They're not going to do none of that when they get out. You know, we got guys. Our weak men today goes all the way back to the first guy. Okay, the very first guy, when she ate of that apple and committed adultery, he should have said, hey, you can't do that. God doesn't. What does she think? She's the only woman on the face of this earth? Well, maybe so. But anyway. But he was weak. Abraham.
Oh, okay.
You know, then he gets pregnant. His wife gets pregnant after he has a child. Now, where's Ismail at today? All you got to do is look around and find the Islam. That's where he's at. Okay. And what's going on? Because he was a weak man, threw her out because some old woman told him to. Men need to stand up. You know, they need to. Don't be brutal to your wives, but you've got to be the man in the house. You're the guy that makes the decisions. You're the guy that's, when she can get up and kick your butt, then she can be the boss. But men have to start sticking up. People have to start sticking up. Our school systems, look at it. They're teaching everything there is in Buddhism and everything else. These schools sitting on the desk going, and the Christians are sitting out in the hall. What's mom and dad doing? You saw me at the meeting. I'm the only guy got up there to speak. 50 men back there. Not one guy raised his voice. Not one man raised his voice.
Well, one guy raised his hand and they tried to accuse him of putting up the Hitler sign. So,
well, the guy I did when he mentioned about doing this stuff, I said, "Oh, you meant to had to have lessons. Raise your hand." But I get nobody. You know, if you remember that, Ty.
Oh no, I will never forget that. Never forget that. I think that's the funniest highlight of the moment. That was hilarious.
But nobody raised their hand. But anyway, that 2 women, and they weren't even Americans, got up and spoke. And then some long-haired young kid, about 19 years old, gets up and talks about how great it is. I met a guy after that meeting, 29 years old, dying of throat cancer and rectal cancer. He tried that lifestyle at 17 years old. He said he'd been with over 200 men, and by now because he goes from one hole to the other, and he's got throat cancer.
One what?
Rectal cancer.
No, don't clarify that, please.
I thought
don't clarify. I understood it. We don't need to clarify.
I heard home.
Oh, well, we can.
Yeah,
let's
that's right.
With home.
Yeah, with the doorway.
Stick with home.
Did I say something wrong?
No, go ahead, George.
And so here's a guy, 29 years old, living the lifestyle, and he's dying. If God wanted people like this, he would have made it like this. He didn't. We take the Bible out. Nobody reads the Bible. I go in Dave's Market over here in February and I take my Bible with me and literature to pass out to people. I don't care. I'm going to get a T-shirt that says, stop abortion, keep your legs crossed.
Wow, wow. Hey, George, hey, I appreciate you. We got some other people that's trying to call in and try to get to them, but hey, don't be
All
a
right, do me
stranger.
a favor, but do me a favor, Ty. Give me a call because I need help on a blog.
I think I'll have to do that through a video call to help you with that, but I'll send you a text to explain it to you.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, you too. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the infamous George, and you heard the story that he just got done telling. Especially, that was really sad to hear that young man talk about that. And I do know that we do have some callers that's calling in right now, and we'll get to that as soon as we can, but we'll have to get back to that after this break. But ladies and gentlemen, what you just got done hearing George say is absolutely 100% true. And this is what I'm saying. I told you guys before, to find peace, equilibrium, stability, all those things will be found in when you go down the path of finding the truth. Truth, it gives you revelation, folks. And this is what they don't want you guys to see. This whole thing that we're talking about right now, if it was meant to be so, why is there a consequence for it? If it was meant for men, and this is what this person wanted me to get back on this subject with when they told me I left a cliffhanger. If it was meant for men to have sexual relations with other men, then the consequences of diseases wouldn't be produced. And the reason I say this, and I don't care who you go and get right now, y'all can go find your leading expert and the leading physiologist, the leading biologist. You can go find your leading kinesiologist. Go find your leading doctor. I do not care who they are. When we learn the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s through medical school, I don't care who you are. This is a result of men penetrating other men or men penetrating other animals, because they are the only ones that can do that. Women cannot do that. Women cannot do that. And this is what they don't want to tell you guys. This is what they don't want to actually let you guys know about. And the reason why they don't is because they want to keep that truth from you. They want to keep that truth from you. Why? Because by keeping the truth from you, it can continuously destroy you. You will continue to be destroyed on a mental level, on a physical level, on an emotional level. There shouldn't be no thing that you say you struggle with it. You don't struggle with it. The Bible was clear in the reason why those things go on right now. Anybody that's part of those different lifestyles, I don't care if you into homosexuality, whatever you want to call it. Folks that want to do things with children, folks that want to do things with animals, folks that want to do things with dead bodies. The Bible was clear when it says you are tempted when you are drawn away by your own lust. And we'll get back to the show after this, folks. Taking a break. George said, "Ho."
I know.
I said,
There's just a point, and if George is watching on YouTube, all respect to you, man. But there's a point where he just keeps going and going and going. And again,
George.
like I say, callers that I like, when I'm more willing to accept a call through the screening process. One, I always try to let George on when we can, because he does consistently listen, and I do very much appreciate that. But I like when callers call in and they have a specific thing they want to say. They say that, whether it's a question or a quick statement to add to the conversation, anything like that. They say that. You're not calling in to get a full segment necessarily. You're not calling in to get to have your own show. This is Ty's show,
George.
and so we appreciate comments and everything like that. We appreciate calls, but it's not your show. So don't come in thinking you're going to get a full 10 minutes.
George.
If you're creating a good conversation and the host wants to keep you on, then cool. But
yeah, George, you know you an old dude. If you listen, you old. You repeating the same stuff sometimes, George. I tell you that on the phone. George, if you watching, you know you had me that one time. You had me on a conversation. You said you're gonna talk a few minutes. You had me for an hour and a half. You made my phone go dead, and I'm not gonna lie, I was thankful.
And at some point, if I get bored, I'm just gonna hang up. Honestly, I don't have time.
This is going to the second segment, right?
You're at the hour, man. You're at 4:00.
Nice.
So you're not, you got a while. You got like 5 minutes ish. And you got Andrea on the line.
Okay.
For next segment, if you want it.
Andrea, you're on hold right now, sis. When we come back on, bring you on.
I don't know. I also kind of disagree with George a little bit on what he was talking about when it comes to like the gender stuff. I actually don't necessarily believe that people hate kids. I think it's that they love money. Like I talked about this with Paul yesterday on the video I posted with him. Is basically that I believe that they've consistently manufactured, whether it actually exists or whatever, to continuously medicate children in some way. When I was young, it was ADHD and ADD. They got everybody, even if you were just on a sugar high, basically, they'd be like, oh, well, we got to get you on medication. And then it became for like, by the time I was in high school ish, in middle school, it was depression and anxiety. Everybody was on like Xanax and crap like that. And then they realized, well, people are starting to realize the effects that, sorry, I'm getting a text here. People are getting texts, or I'm sorry, I'm getting texts. People were finding ways to treat those mental illnesses that didn't necessarily include the medication, that would make them groggy and not themselves and everything like that. And so then they were like, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take probably one of the most profitable mental illnesses, affirm it, make it so that it's no longer a mental illness according to the DSM, and then tell society that you're a bigot if you don't affirm it.
Please say it again when we come back on.
Yeah. And that's what's going on now. And so now they have them on medications for hormones. And then if you have any of the surgeries, then you're going to be on medications for life, consistently treating those wounds.
Yes, because I'm going to get graphic on that.
The axe wound between your legs.
Yes.
You should watch, if you guys haven't watched it yet, D-Trans is a new short documentary, only about 20 minutes long, by PragerU, in which they outline a few different stories of young people, early 20s-ish, that are going through detransitioning after they were allowed to transition at like 13, 14-ish age.
Roller Skater Texas Girl with the $50 super chat. I really, really appreciate that, and God bless you for that. I haven't really seen your name in here before. Seem to be fairly new here. Roller Skater Texas Girl. I appreciate that. I don't think I've seen your name before, but it's definitely going to stick out. Because at first I thought you was some. At first when I was just seeing the Texas part, that jumped out at me because I have a gentleman who's been with me for a long time. He calls himself the Texas Gent. And he says good morning or good afternoon to me every single day for the past some years. He says it every single day. And so when I looked on the screen to the side, before I seen your first comment above that super chat, I just saw the word Texas. And I thought it was him for a second there. So I really, really do appreciate that. And you seem like you're a person that's new to the channel. But yeah, God bless you. And I really do appreciate that. The Assassin of Gray. I'll read some of these off when we come back to the show. Andrea said, watch how they make a sausage. No, if they're gonna be talking about this stuff in the schools and trying to bring it to the kids, we can get into it.
Mm-hmm.
We putting it on the table, folks.
You'll be back within like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, somewhere around there. You still got a little bit of time. About 40 seconds. Cat didn't change out the log from being your best of that we've been playing for like 2 weeks, and so that's why
the voice is coming in and everything.
And why I've been cutting it off so you don't really have any intro music or anything.
What's going on, everybody? I am Ty Smith, modern Renaissance man, and you're listening to my show, Cancel This. The phone number here is area code 309-451-9299. You can text the show at that same number. Also, if you'd like to see me live in the studio, go over to YouTube, type in Modern Renaissance Man, and you will see a thumbnail that says Men versus Women. Want to put it all out on the table? All right, well, you sure you want to go there? That's what the name of this title is, folks, and we definitely are going to be getting into a lot more. Appreciate you guys all listening on this second segment. And let me just say this real quick while it's on my brain. A huge shout out and much love to all of you who came up to me and told me that you listened to the show. You guys were at the Lincoln Reagan dinner. You guys were at some of the garage sales I was at. You was at some of the restaurants. Some of you guys, I saw you out at the different department stores. One of you actually said that you were scared to come and say something to me because I'm a celebrity. I'm actually not a celebrity at all. But I do appreciate you just even acknowledging that, you know, you saw me out and wanted to say hi, but you were scared to. But what I'm saying that for is very well appreciated that a lot of you tell me that you love the show and that I make you guys laugh and then I can bring truth while also adding a comedic side to it, and that I tell stories in such a way that keeps you guys captivated. I'm letting every last one of you guys know. Although I'm definitely passionate about what I'm doing, the fact that you, the listeners, would tell me that when y'all see me out in public, it definitely is very encouraging just to know that there are people out there that who I don't even know what you guys' faces would even look like if y'all do not come up to me and say, hey, I listened to your show. Look, I invite you guys to do that, okay? I'm not one of those people. I know I might look intimidating when y'all see me because some of you have come up to me and go, dude, you a big guy. And like, you are a big dude. And I just didn't want to bother you. No, I am a nice person. If you are a listener of mine, even if you disagree with things that I say, it's still cool for you to come up to me, because some of y'all say y'all saw me in Lowe's, or Home Depot, or Menards. Y'all saw me, and you just, you know, I'm a very approachable person, okay? If I had a face on, like a face of I'm looking kind of intense, it's because that's the face I make when I'm like in the zone, going to go get something, whether it's lumber, stuff like that. Just want to throw that out there. But once y'all did talk to me, y'all was like, oh, okay, I feel a little bit more at ease because he definitely is. He is cool and nice. Not this intense all the time, folks. Only get intense like this when I'm talking about things that I'm passionate about. So with that being said, again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the love. All of you out there in the Blow No area or Bloomington Normal area. Appreciate you guys. Even the ones that disagree, who told me I don't disagree. I don't agree with a lot of things you say. It's because I don't understand it or I don't know that, is what I get told most of the time when people say they disagree. And the reason being is because I encourage all of you to seek out the truth. I encourage all of you to don't just believe what I'm saying to you. I tell you guys to go out there and look it up yourself. You want to know why? Because it's guaranteed that you're going to arrive to the same conclusion that I get when the truth gets put in front of your face. When you get one popsicle stick and another popsicle stick and you put them together, you're going to say to yourself, to me, it's two. If you go ask anybody else who knows how to do correct math, they're going to tell you it's two. And that's what I want you to do with all these different things that I bring up on here. Don't just believe me. Go talk to a doctor that's going to tell you about anatomy and physiology as well. Go talk to any of them and tell them to test to see if I'm wrong. We all went through the same school, and some of them went way more extensive than what I did. But my point is, when it comes down to the basis of the ABCs and the 1 through 3, 1, 2, 3s, when it comes to anatomy, believe me, I tell it thee the truth. No. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there. And before we took the break, into the second half of the show, we did have a call that was on the line. We're going to go ahead and get into this. Caller, you listen to 692.9. This is Ty.
Hey, Ty, it's Andrea. How you doing?
Doing good. I'm always good, sis. How are you?
I'm doing just great.
Good.
Doing just great. Let's talk about it, Ty.
Get into it.
So, a lot of times when I call, you know, people they reach out and they're like, oh, you're a woman basher, you're this, you're that. I'm not a woman basher. What I am is, I'm a truth teller. And if you never have the conversation, how can anything change? And the reason that society is in the shape that it is, and I'm very sad to say this, is because of women in America. And I truly hate to say this, but ever since the snake came down the tree and approached Eve, the snake approached Eve for a reason, because he knew Adam would not be manipulated. And to be perfectly honest with you and perfectly blunt, what I have seen women do in this country. It's horrifying to me. It's horrific to me. Do you think that America would be in the shape that it is in currently if the feminist movement was thwarted when it first started and women decided to stay in the home and raise their children instead of creating an additional tax base for the government and providing the government more access to your children than you have?
Say that again one more time for the people that didn't hear, Andrea. Say that again.
Do you think America would be in the shape that it's in if feminism was thwarted when it was first introduced and women stayed in the home and not created an additional tax base for the government, allowing government more access to your children than you do? Do you think America would be in the shape that it's in right now if women were not used as a weapon against men like they are? Because anytime they need to destroy a man, all of a sudden out of the woodwork comes a woman. It's always a woman. It's always a woman who can falsely accuse men of sexual assault. It's always a woman who can deceive a man into paying child support for a child that she knows is not his. And the reason why women can do this is because women have been convinced that they are just victims who are not accountable for anything, especially their actions. Do you think the abortion industry would be as successful as it is if these big empowered feminists were actually empowered? Meaning, if you're really empowered, if you're really independent, then the abortion industry would not exist because you would use a form of birth control. You might use 2 forms of birth control. You might use a form of birth control. You might have your partner use a form of birth control. You might actually say no. And that might be the best thing that ever happened to American society. But what has been perpetuated is they have convinced women that they can do no wrong. And that when they're abusive to men, it's fine. It's fine. Because you're a woman. You're oppressed. There's nothing that I can't do that you can do. I have the same exact rights that you are. But what has destroyed this country and what has destroyed this nation are women. And if things are going to change, it's not a question of passively going by while women bastardize and abuse men on every level in this country. If things are going to change, women have to smarten up and realize that they're been used and they are currently being used as a tool of destruction for people who are ushering in an agenda. And they have been for decades.
Andrea, that is 100% on point. And I don't know if you heard at the beginning of the show, I went on ahead and I said that same exact thing too. We're going to be coming up on the break, Andrea. I thank you for calling in, sis. You always come and drop a whole bunch of nuggets of wisdom. And folks, you heard it from her. You heard it from a woman. You heard what she just said. Now, what's going to be really interesting is this. Andrea always come in and drop those type of nuggets. And I always have people that are coming to my comment section like the day after or something. And they will say, that Andrea lady that called in, she's completely wrong. And here's why. Why don't you guys ever, when you guys leave me comments like that, why don't you guys ever call into the radio show? Why y'all hide behind your keyboards? Because I agree with her. I'm just telling you. I agree with what she just said. It is a complete setup. I said it at the beginning of my show that it was a complete setup, and they were using that movement to completely try to destroy society. With the whole point of them thinking, I'm going to compete with a man, I'm going to be just as good as a man. In the process, they were set up to actually destroy themselves. And again, shout out to Andrea for calling in, a huge supporter of the channel, huge supporter of my show and Kev's show. Folks, we are coming up on a break here. We'll have more from the show after this. You're listening to Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. Mama Carol said DC is going nuts. I don't get what's going on. I don't. What are we talking about? I mean, I don't. Let's hop over here on Kev's side and see what she's talking about.
I don't know. All I see is, well, hey, DC is going nuts. Look, Ty.
Yeah,
that's all I see.
Look, Ty, like, I'm like, what? Like, DC is going nuts. Look, I'm thinking like, we ain't talking about no Hamas stuff, are we? What are we talking about, Mama Carol?
The streets are full of protesters, probably in Israel.
For what? The Palestine stuff and all? This is going to get bad, bro. I'm telling you.
I'm trying to see what it's about. I'm looking on Twitter. I figured if it's...
Usually Brandon Tatum. Let me see what Brandon Tatum said, or him or ABL or Candace. Alabama. Oh, this ain't... Alabama mayor pastor ends his life after being exposed for doing porn as a trans woman.
Oh, yikes.
Oh my God.
You're coming back in like 8 seconds.
Hello, yeah, y'all heard that? Y'all kind of got a reverb there. I don't know. I said, and we are back, ladies, and then I heard it say it again. So we had to make sure. I don't know why. Y'all don't hear reverb now, right? I don't. So yeah, folks, before we took that break, you heard what Andrea just got done saying about the destruction that's coming by them using a bunch of women, a part of the radical feminist movement, to absolutely destroy society. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying they are using women in a way to where the women don't know. There are women that are part of it that do know that they're being used, and there are women that don't know. And Andrea just got done leaving a $5 super chat here in YouTube. She says, you know who to end feminism here? All the female draft. Thank you for taking my call, Ty. She said, you know how to end feminism here. She said, an all-female draft. I told y'all, but here's the deal. A lot of you that don't agree with what she said, don't be the keyboard warriors behind closed doors. You guys can easily call in at 309-451-9299 if you disagree with her, right? And state your claim, right? If you do call in, make sure you keep it clean, no cuss words, anything like that. And if you do call in, be on point about what we're talking about, because if you try to talk about anything else other than the subject, Kevin is not, Kevin don't even have to ask me, Ty, do you want me to take it? He's just not going to take it. If you're not going to be on subject, he's just not going to take it. Don't get pissed off at him. Be pissed off at me, because we're not going to do that, okay?
Be pissed off at me. I don't care.
Yeah, he don't care anyway. He can leave you speechless like a show says. So, but y'all, I mean, it's the truth, man. I mean, when it comes down to it, we always need to get to the truth. And I don't know if he can even remember this, Kev. You just said something a minute ago. We're getting the call right now, folks, but we're going to get back on, because Kev said something pretty substantial that was pretty nice that I wanted him to bring back up, and that I wanted him to kind of hit on and talk about, because it was a significant point to where I was talking about when it comes to the trans thing. And I actually got something in from someone I know as well on the internet about something that happened within the trans community as well. Because since we're talking about God right now, you know, y'all know I'm a Christian. I don't care. When I say I don't care what people think about me as far as being a Christian. I don't hold nothing back. I'm not scared. I don't go around being all like, I don't go around like, oh, this and that. And the reason why I'm saying is because we're talking about Christianity along with this movement, right? This trans movement and everything. But we're going to get back on that after I take this call right here. We're going to take it right now. Caller, you're on Cities 92.9. This is Ty.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I tuned in a little late, and I'm listening, and I'm just wondering, I heard Andrea, her whole thing, but it keeps coming up where you're saying they, are trying to use women to destroy society. And I'm not sure who the they is, especially when you're making the point that some women are aware of it and some women aren't. So who are the they that
that are doing this?
yeah.
Oh, it's easy. All you have to do is pay attention to who's pushing this agenda. Who is encouraging society to be like it is? What news segments are encouraging it? What commercials are pushing it? What schools are pushing it? What legislation are pushing it? What politicians are pushing it? What governments, what municipalities are really pushing for us to be like this, for them to do this, for them to go out there and slay and be brave and be strong? Who's pushing that?
I don't know. I'm 71 years old, and I remember when I was suddenly able to get a credit card in my own name, not my father's or my brother's or my husband's. It was 1974. I also held jobs where I had to allow men to touch me and pinch me and be completely subservient. So I'm trying to understand what's wrong with being treated with dignity and respect in the workplace, and including bodily autonomy, and equal pay for equal work, and awarding job positions according to qualifications, not gender. I'm not sure who. I still don't think I know who the they is that's using women to destroy society. I'm still not really clear on it. You're asking me instead of telling me, and I wish you would just tell me what you're thinking, because I'm having a hard time getting the point.
I got you. And I appreciate you calling it. This is the producer, by the way, and I screened your call. But to be clear, and I want to start off by saying thank you for calling in and actually like wanting to understand. We have a lot of people that call in here and don't actually want to have a conversation. They just want to rant about their own personal opinions and anything like that. But to answer your question point blank, it is leftists and elites, progressives and Marxists. Those are the they. And when we're talking about the destruction of society, it's not as much about things like equal pay for equal work, which obviously has been in since the Equal Pay Act of 1964, or maybe it was 1963. I know JFK signed it into law, or at least started it. So that obviously is something that.
Wait.
So that's what we'll start off with. I'm trying to answer your question here as well.
I know.
What we are talking about here is people that are trying to destroy the entire idea of gender through things like gender ideology, as well as the understanding that men and women are meant to complement each other, period. That there are many instances nowadays where many women complain about certain areas of the workforce and such, and a lot of that was asked for through a lot of these through these feminist movements. And so yes, there's totally nothing wrong with women who want to go out and work. But the fact of the matter remains that men and women are not interchangeable. Men cannot do everything women can do. Women cannot do everything a man can do. And to think and to push an ideology that says that they can and that you can become a woman or you can become a man, despite the inherent biological differences in men and women, is ludicrous and is destroying things like family, the entire idea of the nuclear family. It's destroying the way that men and women interact. It is destroying relationships. It's destroying society. And that's what we're talking about here. So to answer your question, the who is the they? Leftists, Marxists, progressives. And how is it? It's not. And even when it comes to the bodily autonomy thing, I mean, Ty can speak for himself, but abortion is wrong, and it's not about controlling a woman's body. It's about allowing the right to life for an unborn child.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that that's how you think. I guess I completely disagree with just about everything you said because, first of all, abortion is healthcare. It's not just killing babies. I don't know if you've ever known
healthcare that ends in the termination of a human life.
So
that's a very simplistic way to look at it.
Well, then explain it to us. Then explain it to us, please.
Explain it to you? Okay, I will. Have you ever known a woman who was 7 or 8 months pregnant and the baby died and there was nothing she could do about it?
I have.
But wait until term? Okay.
It's awful. It's devastating.
Right. or after 20 weeks, they find that there's a birth anomaly or a birth defect anomaly that cannot be repaired, and a baby would be born in terrific pain or die right away. So
You're right. You're right. Those instances.
You bring up the point about economics and government tax base. However, when you force a woman to continue a pregnancy that is absolutely never going to make a live baby out of, you're adding economic stress to that situation.
Wait.
You recognize the vast majority of abortions. You recognize the vast majority of abortions do not happen in instances such as that. Vast majority of abortions are perfectly healthy mothers and perfectly healthy children that are terminated early for reasons such as not wanting the child, according to the CDC at least, which I don't know how much you trust the CDC, but the vast majority are based on belief of economic struggle, not wanting the child, things such as that. It's very, very rarely is a termination of a pregnancy due to anything such as that, along with the fact that ectopic pregnancies, which is a lot of what you were circling around, are also not considered to be an abortion.
Not at all.
In the medical field, those are considered to be, like you said, anomalies that are when the baby is not alive anyways, or will not survive, period. It is not considered to be an abortion.
Let me throw this in here too, because I know we're going to come on a break, and I definitely want you to stay on because I don't want you to think that this is like a gang up on you type thing. But it's just the whole thing is like if we're doing this as to come together, as like I always say, for the truth of the matter. Now, here's the deal. When you just said if the baby is going to be born in extreme pain, you know that we can tell that that's going on inside the womb already if there is indeed pain. See, to me, I'm not saying that this is what you're doing, but a lot of things that I get when I actually address people like this, when I'm talking to them either in a crowd or in a speaking engagement, is that it seems like you guys will come with these talking points that you probably read from something or like a bulletin. It's like, this is what you say to Ty when it comes to this versus the actual reality of seeing anything like that statistically. You don't see it like that. So for us to say that you can, if a baby is born, the baby is going to be born in immense pain, then you can actually go inside the womb right now and tell if that baby is in pain. So that whole deal to try to use this thing to say, well, we're going to do this because we're going to put a financial strain. Well, financial strain comes in all shape, form, and fashions, whether you have kids or not. I know single people who are in a financial bind worse than what I am. And I had kids while in college, and I was married while in college, and they were in worse financial positions than I was, and they had better jobs than I did. I was working at a furniture store while being a full-time student. But I do want you to stick around and give us a little bit more insight after this break, if you don't mind. Folks, you listen to 92.9. Be right back.
I do. Actually, I do feel.
Sorry. All right, let's do this.
Of what you think.
Sorry, ma'am, miss.
We're on a break right now.
So we had to go on a break, but we do want to hear what you have to say. If you wouldn't mind sticking around for just about like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, you're just going to be on hold, and then we'll be right back with you. Okay?
I don't think I have anything else to say. There's nothing I can say that you will believe because you've already got your minds made up. You have your position, your point of view. I respect that, but
right. But the listening audience will want to hear. There's a listening audience that want to hear what you want to say.
You're not women.
I actually am. I identify as one.
Kevin is one.
I'm a woman.
See, now what? They didn't know that. See, you guys didn't know that.
Actually, I don't believe.
Wait a minute. Now that's wrong. Wow.
According to the conversation that you just had with me about gender identity, I feel like that was a comment that you made to insult me.
Well, it wasn't to insult you. It was to point out the fact that you are focusing on the gender of us rather than the content of our argument. If my gender mattered in this conversation, then you would be able to fully accept that I am a woman, and thus my opinion would then be valid to you.
Right. And then
if my opinion was, if the validity of my opinion, because you resulted to saying that we are not women, insinuating the fact that our opinion is less than because we are not.
Because we're not women.
So my point was
wait a minute. I never said less than. I never insinuated less than. you are the person who said to me that there are things men can do that women can't, and things that women can do that men can't. So according to your own words, there is no way for you to completely understand how it feels to be a childbearing woman.
So
For all of the things that are involved in that. And right now in the United States, childbearing is death-defying. Death-defying.
Are you kidding me?
Wait.
The vast majority,
Wait.
Black and
Wait.
brown,
the vast majority of pregnancies and with no issues, like with no medical issues, like 99% of pregnancies that are carried to term are there's very little health risk in them anymore.
You said
the maternal mortality rate in this country is off the chart.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, it's very low. It's very it's so off the charts that it's practically non-existent.
Are you kidding me?
No, we're not.
According to the Center for Disease Control,
we're one of the worst maternal death records in first world countries.
It's called abortion.
If you factor into abortion, then you're right. If you're factoring in abortion,
ma'am, I don't know.
You don't factor in abortion.
I'm in medicine. I'm telling you right now, just like when they made up the thing saying that when people were dying in the hospital during the pandemic, that they was labeling a lot of things a COVID death. I'm telling you right now, the mortality rate as far as that goes, abortion is included in that. That's why that number is, if that number is high, you have to go and look at into details in that. It's not just women that are pregnant. They're including abortions in that as well with that number. Now, another thing I want to
they're not. They're really not.
Wait,
those are not the articles
you're in medicine?
Read.
You work in medicine?
No, I do not.
I do. Been in it for over 20-some years.
Bless the souls of your patients.
Right, no, yeah, and the ones that they killed, the babies. But what I want to say, though, is that when you made the comment, you said that women who in the workplace, they get unequal pay. So what I want to say to you is this, okay, if there are women who are in the workplace that are getting unequal pay to men, I need you to identify what particular areas are you talking about, because when it comes to the hospital, the women dominate in the hospitals and any type of social work whatsoever, hospitals, nursing homes, schools, women dominate and they make more money than men. So what are we talking about? And that's why
in the same position, are you comparing the salaries of nurses?
And
female nurses, male and female doctors? I can tell you right now that in the practice where my primary care physician works, that is absolutely not true.
You said the primary care physician, that's one office. That's not a whole facility in the medical field overall. In the medical field overall is dominated by women. In fact, one of my degrees in physical therapy, that was started by a woman. That physical therapy is dominated by women. Although there are men therapists, it's dominated by women. So are we gonna equalize that? So what I'm saying therefore is
men can go to school and become qualified to work in those jobs.
Right. So just like right now, okay, so the men that you're talking about, whoever these men are that you're saying that make more money than women, if those men decided to identify as women, would that make it equal?
Hello?
Are you still there?
Isn't that a ridiculous supposition?
No, because now you're insulting the people who identify as trans.
Then what about all the women who are binary and identify as neither men nor women or as men?
So then they should shut up and stop crying about it then. Right?
Let's even get away from here's my question. Here's my question for that.
This is a ridiculous.
Away from the gender, away from like the gender ideology, switching genders, anything like that. If it was legal and common practice to pay women less than men, and it was perfectly legal to do so, which it's not, but if it was, then why wouldn't every business, every hospital, everywhere only hire why wouldn't
women?
They only hire women? Because then if it was about profit and if it was about making money, then they'd be able to make a lot more. I mean, if they're able to pay 79 cents for every dollar, when you add that up for every dollar that's paid, that's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars saved every year. Why don't we just cut men out of the workforce and then we can pay everybody less?
Because I would, as a businessman, I would. If it was legal for me to, I would. In fact, I can tell you this too. as a director, I hire in a whole lot of people, okay? And this is what we do. I'm just look, ma'am, I'm just telling you the truth. When we hire people in, we'll tell them, here's this position, and we'll say this position pays this. Those people are either go, okay, or they'll go, oh, well, no, that's a little below what I was actually expecting. I actually would rather have you pay me this much. And I'm just being real with you. Women tend to be a lot more agreeable when we throw a number out there. Now, I get told from my higher uppers, hey, Ty, tell them this is what this position pays. And that's what they tell me. And then when you come in and you say, hey, I got this much years of experience, blah, 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 I will say to you, well, this position pays, this position pays $60,000 a year. That's where we at. We 60,000. And if you say to me, oh, okay, then I'm going to go with that. So it's not about it being a woman or a man thing. As a business person, period, we're going to try to find a way that we're going to be able to actually keep more money in our pockets. And that's why we shoot low. So, and it's the truth. You can look it up. I tell people all the time, don't believe me, look it up. When it comes to situations like that, women tend to be more agreeable when it comes to things like that and unwilling to negotiate because they look at the stresses of actually arguing or negotiating as being too much of a hassle, and they rather not do it. They rather just take the pay. So, I mean, I don't want you to think this.
And what does that tell you about society?
It tells me that if I'm a businessman and I'm trying to make more money to pay somebody lower, then I'm just a good businessman. Elon Musk got rid of like 75% of Twitter. That was an awesome business deal. If he said that Twitter can function with less than 75% of the people that was needed there, that is a great business deal. And he made more money for Twitter. So this whole argument right now, and I know that you might see things differently. It's not
I'm not arguing. I'm just listening to you.
Oh, I'm saying the argument of there being a differences of pay or, us trying to do things in a way to look down on folks. It's not that. It's just a simple fact that we're just trying to bring out and highlight the truth and don't want anybody to be deceived by it because it goes through society.
So let me just recap here. You're telling me that you don't think there's any salary discrepancy between men and women performing the same functions in a job?
No. Matter of fact, when I graduated,
not when you factor in qualifications, experience, not when you factor in qualifications, experience, amount of time maybe work at that company specifically. When you factor in all of those things, no. And if there was a discrepancy with all of those things factored in, they would have a very good lawsuit on their hands.
Yeah, big time.
Because it's illegal.
Yeah, and I'm just telling you, as a director in medicine, we have to be in par with compliance. Like they don't mess around with this particular type of matter. And here's the deal. When we say things like this, that's why I want people to be more specific. When you say, so you telling me a female doctor and a male doctor are going to come out with the same pay. Well, what are we talking about? Is this, if this female doctor is an orthopedic surgeon and this male doctor is a primary care physician, she's going to kill him on the income. She's going to make way more than him. Now, if he comes out and they both of them are doctors, and she is
those are two different job functions.
But that's my point that I'm going to make to
those
you.
Are way two different job functions.
Listen, that's my point.
Orthopedic surgeon and a primary care.
That's my point I'm trying to make to you is that you said doctor. If a female doctor and a male doctor come out, the male doctor going to make more. That's why I said you have to actually go and give me the variable. Is this male doctor orthopedic surgeon and she's primary care? What type of doctors are these?
Well, now we're arguing semantics because I guess being in the medical field, I figured you would understand.
Which is why I'm breaking it down to you, ma'am. That's why I'm breaking it down to you like this.
You don't need to bring it down to me. That was what I intended to, and by saying a male and a female, a man and a woman performing the same job function in their position.
Okay, now.
Now, what does that mean to you? Does that mean an orthopedic surgeon and a primary care physician? No, it means two primary care physicians or two orthopedic surgeons.
Okay, now I got you. Now, what we're going to do this, since you did that right there, I agree with you on that. Okay, now what I'm going to do as a director, I'm going to look at to see which one of those two got a certain amount of experience. Now, both of them are doctors and they both are primary care physicians. If he got 10 years of experience while she got 3 or 5, of course he's going to get paid more. So now what we're going to do?
But if we're going to compare apples and apples. We're going to say two physicians with 10 years of experience who've attended top universities and have very similar work records as far as success with patients. We're going to compare it that way.
Yes.
And you know what? It's pretty hard to do with doctors So I think maybe what we would have to compare it to is Macy's salespeople or Taco Bell employees or the tire repair guys or regular people, not doctors.
Those are regular people.
Not high-level businessmen.
Right. Okay.
We're
So
talking about people who have ordinary, regular jobs.
right.
Then they are
without
paid the same.
union-
Then
Without-
I was just going to say
without
that's why
union, without union protection and without an elite status
when
in a hospital or a medical setting.
right. Okay. So when you
Okay.
see that, they tell you already when you mention Taco Bell and places like that, because I mentor people, I mentor young folks. These places tell you what they pay you already, even on their signs. Like Taco Bell say paying $14 an hour. McDonald's say we pay $15 an hour. So if a guy and a girl go and work at McDonald's, they both gonna get paid the same, guaranteed, or your money back. If a guy and a girl go work at Taco Bell, they are going to get paid the same.
And
So-
again, it's illegal if they do not. If you literally have all of the exact same qualifications, it is illegal if you do not. And I guarantee you, there are lawyers out there that if it is provable, and I'm not denying there might not be isolated incidents of this, of which there's a pay gap of some kind in isolated instances, but by and large, it does not happen because it is illegal.
Yes.
There's in the 1960s, a law was signed, the Equal Pay Act, that made it illegal.
Well, it's still happening because if you look at the statistics, it's still happening.
What statistics are we talking about?
If I look
Are
at
you
the
talking about,
statistics,
like-
can you cite the statistics?
Honestly, I don't remember the name of the agency that maintains those records.
That's fine. I would like to know if and that agency is
It's
talking
the,
about
it's the
what.
Bureau.
I mean,
it's actually the Bureau of
I'm
Labor
in the
Statistics.
car
Because
and
I
I
know which
could
ones you're talking about.
Google
It's
it, you know,
I'm
I
not even
can't-
Googling it. I'm not even Googling. I know this off the top of my head. The one that's oftentimes cited by people making the argument that you are is the Bureau of Labor
Yep.
Statistics. And when you read that study, it compares the average income of men to the average income of women. It does not take into account job experience, anything. You could be, you're essentially comparing somebody who you're a teacher in North Carolina to a doctor in the city of Chicago, which it's going to be vastly different. That's the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's how they determine the quote unquote pay gap that you're discussing. And it's incredibly flawed and oftentimes cited to promote this idea of sexism in the workplace that today doesn't exist.
Because again, if I was to bring you the statistics of these different places in the medical field, you're going to see that women make more money than men. And as far as like the jobs go, that all depends on, like when you broke down the level of professionalism. Yeah, if you are a professional, and I literally just gave you, as a director, I hire in people. I don't discriminate. I tell them, after I look at their resume and I look at their years of experience, when I tell them for this position pays $75,000. If the man says to me, well, hey, my resume says that I actually have a specialty in neuro and also have a specialty in myofascia, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that if you guys can do 72, blah, 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 that's what we do. That's the real deal right there. We as a business person, I'm trying to make much money for my company as I can. So I don't care if you are a man or a woman. I'm going to try to give you the lowest I can give you to get you to agree to it, to come work for me. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. That's going to be more money in my pocket. And money doesn't have a sex on it. So, I mean,
I would never work with an attitude like that. Knowing this about you, I would never work for
do you have a job right now?
I do not right now. I'm retired.
What did you have a job?
Yes, I've had several jobs. I've worked in several fields. I'd still like to circle back to who
I guarantee you, before you say that, we already gave you that. We already answered who they were. And
yeah, how is it that
you derailed from what I was going to say.
progressives
Let me
and
finish this up
leftists-
real quick. What I was going to tell you is that I guarantee you that the jobs that you had back in the past, they did the same exact thing. Everybody that is a boss do that. They try to hire you in at the lowest they can get you to do. And then that way they can make more money for the company and keep more bonuses for themselves. I'm just telling you, that's the way the business works. That's capitalism. And right now, that's why we allow a lot of people to come into this country right now illegally and call them migrants and everything like that, because they will come in and work for a far more lower wage than what some Americans will do, which is going to in part make that company more profitable. I'm just telling you the truth. That's capitalism right there. Be mad at the ones who created this. The ones like today, me and Kevin said, the elites, your George Soros, your Bill Gates. You got a lot of people that are actually pushing these systems out there. They have control over the media. They have control over what they want the media to see. They got control over what they want you to watch on TV. They got control over what shows they put on TV. They got control over what within those shows, what ideology or narrative they want to push. They have control over that. They are the ones that owns those networks.
Hedge funds, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. You could also look up anybody in the World Economic Forum and look up the Great Reset. That's essentially
Honestly, I don't admire people like that. So I admire altruists and humanitarians and capitalism. Yeah, that's great. That's fine. But I think you could be a capitalist and be more like Henry Ford and pay people what they're worth
He
so
didn't
that
like
they
black
can
people.
afford to buy.
Henry Ford didn't like black people.
I don't think that was the point I was making. And
I'm
there's
just
a
saying,
lot
you
of
said you
people that
admire
didn't
him.
like
You admire a
black people in
racist.
the old.
See, I can play that game too. You admire a racist. But we got to get ready to come up on a break, though. I appreciate you really being here and calling in. If you stay on, we'll stay on with you too, sis. We'll be right back, folks.
I hung up on her because you got one more segment. So
yeah, y'all, we
wrap it up
appreciate
in
you
the
guys
next
all being here, and I'm gonna give her a shout out too. I do appreciate her calling in, y'all. But when we come back from this break, I am gonna give her a shout out. Forget what she said her name was.
I don't think she ever did.
But Reckless Ray.
I hate this altruism. How she says, I admire altruistic people. Altruism oftentimes comes off as very like self-righteous, as if like I'm better than everybody. My intention is altruistic, and while if it's definitively altruistic, it can be generally good, but it's usually considered subjectively altruistic, which pushes into the idea of, again, self-righteousness. I'm better than people because I do. Like a lot of your white liberals that had the savior complex during all the BLM protests considered themselves to be altruistic. Cool, good for you, but you're really just a narcissist who is playing offended for the sake of showing how woke you are and how not racist you are. You're performative and you're disgusting.
Just like that.
That was fun though. Again, like, I mean, she essentially at the beginning, her line of questioning in the beginning of that was to try to better understand. And then as soon as we said things she didn't like, she was like, she remember, I think the crazy thing, I was able to quote her own statistics for her. That
And
just
she
shows
still
you.
didn't want to hear it.
I was able to quote her own statistics for her. Comes out of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I've heard this one a million
They
times.
use the Bureau of Labor Statistics all the time.
BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics.
So the takeaway from this, folks, is remember BLS.
BLS is BS. Yeah, you're coming back.
And you heard that. That's me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this right now to those that are listening out there in the Blow-No area. Huge shout out to the caller that just called in. We welcome all opinions and different things like that of sort in Cities 92.9 here. She has some points that she wanted to make and bring up. And to me, initially, when we started it off, I gave her as clear as I could who the they are when I said, who is controlling the media? Who is it that's doing X, Y, and Z? Now, I meant that as a rhetorical. I wasn't really asking her that. It was pretty much saying, like, if I would say to you, who was it that supposedly had discovered gravity? You're not going to say, well, you're not supposed to ask me. I'm asking you. I'm like, no, my point in saying the way that I said is to get you to go down that road to find out who it was. That way you can have the revelation of it yourself, because me telling you, you're not going to believe me anyway. But if I convince you somehow to get motivated to go down that road of research and look it up yourself, you're going to come to the revelation of the truth, and the truth will make you free.
I think the problem with that, Ty, was you acted on presumption that she would know.
or even under the presumption that she would even want to go down and find out who the so-called they are. Because, I mean, she did, and honestly, like, that's why I kept it to call. That raised a legit question. I say this myself. I say to people all the time, I'm like, well, who are they? Who are they? Name them. And whoever they are, what makes them right? I say that all the time. And if I say that, and I want people to, like she just did, I give it to me the same exact way. I'll tell you who they are. I'll show you who they are, But here's the thing. Once you do find out who they are, you know what they do a lot of times? And I'm not accusing this woman of anything, but I'm just saying a lot of people Kevin broke it down to her too, right? But once we do that and then they flip it and want to go to something else, well, then how come the baby that had the strawberry on his head didn't get the same treatment that the baby that had the orange? You're like, what? Now you're trying to deflect and deter from the conversation because we just pretty much, gave you the truth of the matter. And a lot of people do that. And again, shout out to the caller. There are a lot of people that had comments on the internet. We're not going to say none of those. But let me say this too, because I told y'all when I said we put it all out there, everything's on the table. I'm letting y'all know right now, honestly, And like I told y'all before, because I got to keep on making this disclaimer for some of you that are easily offended. My intentions and what I'm saying is not to offend, but if you get offended, I don't care. And I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up right now, the lady that just called in real life, if I was to meet this woman, have a conversation with her in real life, the conversation would have ended within a minute. Certain people, I'm just being real, certain people have a certain level of intellect, right? And once I recognize that, usually I don't converse anymore. It's this thing I tell my mentees. But for the radio's sake, I wanted to use this as an example, okay? A thing I tell my mentees is this. If I know my enemy and I know their tactics, I know their weaponry, I know everything they're going to use, I know how they're going to use, I know when they're going to strike. If I happen to get beat by them, that's my fault. And that's an example right there. There are certain people, y'all, and I don't mean to no disrespect. I just don't do that with certain people of a certain minded mentality. They seem to be a little touched, a little slow. I'm just being real. No hate, just telling you the truth. Because a lot of things happen early on in life. They might have been manipulated a certain way, and even just in the way they present it. You always want to say, are you asking this to be argumentative? Or are you asking this because you're trying to arrive to an actual conclusion? You know, again, I run into people on the liberal side like this all the time. They come at me. What she just got done saying to me is like the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of the bullet points that people like that want to make at individuals such as myself, or even a lot of people that are considered to be Christian or conservative, etc. And then what they do, if they know that they're getting beat sometimes, and I don't mean it this way. A lot of times people in a certain mindset, if you feel that a person is getting the best of you in their conversation, one of the things you would do is try to throw a shot a little bit. Like when she threw the shot and said, I will never work for you. I guess that was supposed to hurt my feelings or something. It didn't at all. And I said, that's why I went to her and I went back and I said, now, you held jobs before. I guarantee you these different jobs that she's had, if it was anything to where money can be negotiated, I guarantee you the companies are going to shoot low, folks. Is it a good thing? I don't know. But I will tell y'all this. You talk about fairness. You want to talk about equality and equal pay and fairness. Let me tell y'all why what I said when it comes to paying the employees that we hire on, why I say that's what we do is because of this. There's a very significant parable that Jesus gave in the Bible. Jesus talked about how there was a person that had his, I'm gonna paraphrase to where it can be more modern and understood. Jesus pretty much said there was a person that had a business, and this person that had this business paid people. Now, this is what happened. He told the people that wanted to work for him, I will pay you this much money. Let's just say I'm giving you an example. Look, I'm just giving you guys an example. I'm paraphrasing why I'm gonna throw a number in there. But this is what they said. Jesus said in this parable, this man had a business. He told them, if you come and work for me, I'm going to give you $200 a day, right? That's what he said. I'm going to give you $200 a day, right? The people agreed to it. They came in the morning and worked. They got $200 a day. There were also some people that came midday and worked for him. They got $200 a day. And then there was somebody that came towards the end of the day and they got $200 a day. Now, here's the issue that came up with this equality thing. Same exact thing. This is a great example. Listen to this. The people who came and worked early in the morning got $200 a day. The people that came and worked midday got $200 a day. The people who came and worked like the last, hours of the day, they got $200 a day. The other people complain like, wait a minute, how come they get $200 a day? We've been here since the morning. And the other people like, hey, how come they get $200 a day? We've been here since midday. And the people who only been there for a few hours, they didn't complain. Why? You know what he said? He said, the reason why y'all are complaining, he said, I offered y'all this much money and you agreed to it. You agreed to that. So now you agree to this wage that I'm giving you, and then you're going to turn around and come back and complain that it's unfair. You agreed to it. Guys, I'm telling y'all right now, I've held several jobs, okay? I've been a director now for quite a few years, okay? Before I became a director, I applied for it. I did not get it. You know what I was told? It's because you're black. Tyler, it's because you're black. It's because you're black. But you know what it was? You know what I did? The person who was in charge of hiring you and making you a director or directors in an administration, I asked them, I said, now I didn't get this position, right? I said, is there something that I need to do that'll make it more, plausible? They said, Ty, it has nothing to do with who you are and your skill. They said, you just need to get a little bit more experience in X, Y, and Z in these areas. Get a little bit more experience in these areas right there. And that right there make you more attractive. Guess what Ty Smith did? I went straight back and did exactly what that person said. The following year, I applied. This one at the same place. I applied and I got the job and been a director since because I listened to what that person told me to do. Now, I could have used the whole thing of, let's just say, like when the lady that just called, when she used the whole being a woman, I could have used that excuse that somebody said to me, man, you didn't get it because you black. You didn't get it because you black. That's all. What else could it be? I mean, you the smartest dude I know, man. They didn't give it to you because you black. Now, what if I would have listened to what that person said or what those individuals were saying about me being black? And that's the reason why. What if I would have used that right there and be like, well, you know what? Because this is what it does. This one telling you, this is detrimental to a lot of people on the mental level. What if I would have took what they said, what a lot of folks were saying about me being black, and that's the reason why, brother, in those hospital fields, how many black people do you even see up there? So, man, I'm telling you, that's what it is, man. You think you the first black person to apply to that? And they're not giving it to you? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Look at for what it is. What most people would do is go along with that and go, you know what? He's right. There are no black people up there in the administration directing roles. He's right about that. So why even try? But guess what? Thank God that I have always been something that my mom called me since I was a kid. I was hard-headed and I was curious. And my mom would always tell me, you know what? You want to just find out. You go ahead and do it. That's my mom used to always say that. I'm like, Mom, I don't think bee stings hurt. Well, go ahead and stick your hand in there. Go ahead and stick your hand in there. Let's go ahead and stick your hand in there. That's what my mom would tell me. You don't think them bee stings hurt? Go and stick your hand in there. Go and do it. And guess what I did? I did it. And it did not feel good. But what's strange about that, y'all, is that I had to know. Now, when it comes to certain things in life, I'm not that stupid. I wonder what it's like to jump off a 10-story building if it really is going to break my legs. I'm not talking about something like that. I'm talking about things that actually intrigue me. So what I'm saying that for is everything that I wanted in life, a lot of things that I strived for that I wanted in life, a lot of those things that I wanted, I was always told by somebody that I would not probably be able to get them because of the color of my skin or because of something else or because maybe I was a man or maybe this and that. I was always told that. And that's the reason why I came up with a quote, and Donald J. Trump absolutely loved it, to where he literally told me to take my t-shirt off and give it to him. Because when we went to go meet him, I wore a t-shirt that had my quote on it. It says, do not put your limits on me based off of what you are incapable of achieving. And that's what a lot of people do right now. So ladies, if you're listening right now, the lady that just called in, shout out to her. But a reason why a lot of people talk about and argue the wage gap, which we can show statistically that that's completely wrong anyway. But don't put your limits on you based off of what that lady that just called in was incapable of achieving.
Absolutely.
She said, I was doing this and this happened to me. That's you. They said, Ty, you're not going to be able to get that director position because how many black people are? That's y'all. But look where I am right now. I'm directing over folks that look just like you white people. I don't even have no black people working under me. I got Indian, I got Asian, I got Chinese, I got white. But what would have happened if I had to listen to that, folks? Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all all tuning in. We got to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to go check out Kev at Speeches with Kev. Appreciate him coming in and producing for us. We are getting ready to get out of here, folks. Hope and pray that every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I hope and pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all.
I just want to say before you end it too, mad respect to anybody who calls in and disagrees, because obviously you have a lot of people that get in your comment section that disagree and they'll hide behind the screen and everything. But at least somebody was willing to call in. Yeah, we tore her apart, and yeah, she didn't really hold her ground very well at all. But at least she called in, and when she had something to say that she disagreed with, she did it. And she stood behind it, at least over the phone. So
yeah, so she was really brave. She was brave, y'all.
Yeah, if you're out there and you're like, I disagree with what they said, and I'm just gonna post a comment, well, then you're a little itch, and stay being an ussy.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Hit that like button before y'all get out of here. You doing it? I'm doing it. I'm like,
I got it. I